So there's the question: chest rig or belt kit or load bearing equipment? Which one's right for you? Maybe you're new to guns, maybe you're old to guns, maybe you're a veteran trying to stay sharp or get sharp again, an airsofter, or just a regular dude that's looked around and can see the state of the world, state of the country, or maybe just the state of your neighborhood, and you think it might be a good idea to be able to carry a fighting load. Stick around and I'll see if I can help you make the right decision for you. So I'm going to start with the chest rig, since that's what I'm sure most everyone is already more familiar with. Chest rigs have really come in their own in the last 20 years, so they've been around for at least 50 or so. They've really come into their own since the global war on terror. The reason for that, I believe, is primarily because of how well they work in vehicle or mechanized operations. So what I mean by that is, if you have to sit inside of the vehicle, you don't want a bunch of stuff around your waist. You want to get everything up near your chest. You want it in front of your body so that you can comfortably sit in your vehicle for long periods of time, get out, do your thing, and then get back in. So if you are doing any sort of vehicle operations, I do think a chest rig is probably the place that you should start looking. So one of the big differences between a chest rig and something like LBE belt kit is sort of the philosophy behind why you would use it. So a chest rig is primarily more of your fighting equipment. So mine has magazines, a little bit of administrative equipment, and then my medical kit. And that's pretty much it. There's no water, there could be some food, but there's not much else that's not related strictly to fighting in the chest rig. So what that means is, if you need to be out and operating for long periods of time, this might not be the rig for you. The form factor is nice. Everything does kind of hug your body, so that's cool. So that could come in handy if you're in any sort of close, tight-in environment. If you're going through buildings, if things are really that bad, if you're in a densely populated area, you might want a chest rig. And again, if there's vehicles involved, this is probably your rig. And speaking of vehicles, if you were in a situation where you're serving in a role as a quick reaction force, a QRF, the purpose of a quick reaction force is to get to a place where a fight has probably already started, end the fight, and then get right back to where you started from. So that is mechanized, short-term operations, and primarily focused on fighting. So if you're in a QRF, chest rig is probably your deal, man. But I think one of the biggest cons to wearing something like a chest rig is all of the weight of your equipment is on your chest. So what that means is all of this weight ultimately is on your lower back. And if you've ever spoken to an infantryman that was in the global war on terror at all, they've all got back problems. It's almost all lower back problems. And I think the root cause of that most of the time is the way our gear was set up. All the weight was up on our shoulders, on our chest, and then ultimately on our lower back. So if you've already got lower back problems, a chest rig might not be the thing for you. So now LBE, or load bearing equipment. I think the Brits would call it belt kit. So it's kind of in the name. Load bearing equipment is designed to carry a bunch of stuff. So if you're going to be out walking around for long periods of time, you want a system that is comfortable for carrying all of the stuff that you have to have on your body and on your back. So that is what load bearing equipment and British belt kit is really designed to do. So the general thinking behind LBE or belt kit is that most of your weight, most of your gear is going around your belt line and around your hips. And this is really the way that people have carried their fighting loads for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. If you think back to any American war, for sure, Revolutionary War, Civil War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, everyone carried their weight around their waist and around their hips. So this has really been the method for carrying gear for a very long time. So LBE and belt kit kind of fell out of favor, especially in the American military, over the past 20 years during the global war on terror. Again, for the same reason the chest rigs are now so prolific, vehicles are not a great match when you're wearing an LBE or a belt kit. So when all of your gear is around your hips, that really makes sitting in a vehicle just an unpleasant thing. It's already uncomfortable, especially in military vehicles, just trying to fit in the thing at all. But once all of your gear is around your hips and especially on your back, your comfort level in a vehicle is going way down. So what that means is LBE and belt kit are perfect for if you're going to be foot mobile. Yes, if you're doing traditional infantry stuff, if you're walking around, long range patrolling, you're out in the woods, LBE, in my opinion, that is the way to go. So while the chest rig is primarily intended to carry just your fighting equipment, your LBE, your belt kit, is for carrying everything. This is really an extended operation kind of kit. If you're going to be out for 24 hours, I think that a belt kit or an LBE is probably the rig for you. So on this rig, I have 8 AK mags, 2 quarts of water, a Camelback if I need it, plenty of room for general purpose stuff, food, medical, and then a butt pack. Or for the Brits, they tend to run 2 large general purpose pouches in the back for whatever overnight equipment you might need. A couple of comfort items, maybe an extra tarp, maybe a poncho liner, things that would make being out in the field for at least a day, including an overnight, at least bearable. So from what I understand about British belt kits, they do really live out of their one rig. Everything from fighting to food to sustainment is all in their belt kit, and that is basically how I have this one set up here. So one slight difference between a traditional British belt kit and the way LBE is executed in America is often there is an LBV, a load-bearing vest, included in the load-bearing equipment. So that's what I have on right here. I have a modular load-bearing vest from Special Operations Equipment. It's allowing me to carry my mags up higher while still getting the belt kit benefits of the butt pack, water, and sustainment pouches. And before I mentioned the chest rigs generally put most of the weight ultimately on your lower back. Something like a belt kit or an LBE or a load-bearing vest is going to evenly distribute that weight throughout your entire torso. So this particular rig, I can feel weight on my shoulders, on my chest, on my stomach, and on my hips. So it's not all focused specifically on my lower back like on a chest rig. A lot of the weight goes straight to my hips, which is where you want to carry your weight anyway. So Sam, which one should I buy? Unfortunately, I can't answer that question for you. The best I can do is give you what I've learned through my experience with both versions of these types of kit and load-bearing equipment, methods of carrying a fighting load. Give you what I know, and then you have to take that information and find out how it applies or doesn't apply to your specific situation. So if you've been here this long, you clearly like this topic. I've got a few other videos, either on some of the equipment you saw in the video or other adjacent topics to this video. So if you go check out my channel, there's probably some interesting content there that you would enjoy. If you'd like to see more of this thing, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, so whenever I do post up some new stuff, it'll be right there in your feed so you can catch it right there on the front end. If you like the video, hitting the like button would be really cool. But even better than that, if we could continue this conversation in the comments. Obviously, I love to talk about this stuff. Clearly you do too, or you wouldn't still be watching. So go ahead and put stuff in the comments, any questions I can try and answer, or I can point you in the right direction where you can answer that question for yourself. But after all of this, what really is the most important thing is whether you buy a chest rig or LBE, none of that matters if you don't have the mindset, tactics, and skill to execute in an instance where you would actually need that equipment. So I'm going to need you to go out and get training from a competent instructor, not just going out and shooting on the range, but go learn from someone. Go find an expert and get more information from them. Not me, I'm just some dude on YouTube, right? They'll expose you to new information, things you've never thought about, situations you've maybe even never considered as an option that could shape your decision of what gear to buy. But if you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't have time to throw on your gear, the only thing that you have left is your mindset, tactics, and skill. That is something that you don't have to put on. That is something you always carry with you. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll see me on the next one, and there'll probably be some links up on the screen or down in the description for you to continue your research on this topic or anything else in this general area. So go out there, learn some more stuff, and that person that you would want at your emergency, be that guy. Thanks for watching.